I do agree. It's tough going in for 1 year and trying to actually resolve any sort of change. I also appreciate that you're saying transparency and visibility is very important. I agree with you. We don't have enough of that. Not enough people know who our SADs are. But there is a problem with student apathy at the moment and student engagement. How do you plan on actually tackling that? How do you plan on actually getting people involved? Because facilities have been provided.
Yeah.
Students aren't just not using them. I myself am a course rep, and I've gotten a fair bit done with my lecturers, my tutors. I go for meetings all the time with them to discuss it. So the facilities are there, no one's using them. How are we going to get people to use them?
Very good question. See, the whole basis of my entire manifesto is that the student union, I think, as it stands, relates to a certain type of person. And you can see that from the voting each year. Out of what, 22,000, you only get about 4,000 people that ever come and vote. Which means all these people aren't coming along, and for the very reason you're saying. People just don't really use the services, people don't really know what they want to do. I think if you get the student union involved, like what I'm saying with the courses, if you really fix up the things, and what that girl was saying, in fact, if you sort out the amount of computers there are, and you sort out all this kind of stuff, it gets people involved in, like, the student union physically doing something for me. That's when the rest of the team, like the things that Jamie and Joel are offering, that's when that stuff becomes effective, because they're like, oh, the student union is doing something. So therefore, those services, like, people start suddenly like,
sorry, yeah, just to say, it's always been my opinion that student life has been a combination of physical well-being, so sport, and academic, that we don't come here just for a degree. We don't come here just to drink. Hopefully we don't come here just to drink. But it's a combination of all three, and it's the development of a person across possibly 2 to 4 years. But providing all of those services, I think, are equally as important. I don't think you can just say academics are more important than anything else. Of course, the degree's there, but we need to offer other things for development. Would you agree, or do you think that academics should take precedent over everything else?
No, don't misunderstand me. I think all those kind of services are brilliant, but they're all run fantastically as they are. When I went around and I was asking the entire student, well, not the entire student body, but I went between the campuses and I said, what do you want from your SU? And they said they didn't care, because like a large proportion of people I spoke to, they didn't ever use the services of like the club nights and stuff like that. So, I think those services are there, they're brilliant, and they can be better advertised through the use of Joel's media shabans and stuff. I think like if the course is going well, then people want to know more about what's going on in the union, because I mean, like you say, people do come here as well for the social life. The degree is what's important, and I don't think 80% of people would have turned around to me and said, I don't care, I'm here for a degree, I don't really want to get involved in the union because that's what I'm here for. I don't think that many people would have said it if they were really focused on that much of social life.
There are currently 10 course reps registered on my course, and I'm the only one who's actually turned up in 2 years. And I essentially have to sit there and represent just under 1,000 students on the business course and get stuff done for them. I take them my own free time. But you can have the facility, you can have people putting their names up, but they're doing it for their CVs. How do we actually engage people to actually become part of the democratic process and say, my course isn't correct? I mean, people will moan about it, but how do we actually engage students to actually do something about it?
Can I ask though, just quickly, before I answer the question, like, why did you want to be a course rep?
Because I actually enrolled in the year when top-up fees first came in. Okay. Obviously you're paying more, you should be demanding more. I was interested in looking at the ratios of teaching 1-to-1, 1-to-3, if that was going to change with higher numbers, whether or not we'd actually have access to facilities that we should really have, to see where the money was spent. Now, on the student union side, they have money to do what they want for, and there's the academic inequalities stuff as well. But with the university themselves, best practice has always been to talk to the lecturers and talk to the tutors, and we have made some real changes. I know I'm the only course rep, but we've still made a lot of changes. So it's really having an interest in what my degree actually stands for at the end of my term here. That's why I became a course rep. But for everyone else, the other 7 who haven't turned up on their CV, how do we actually engage them and get them to meetings?
Am I to understand to become a course rep, you got like a fair bit of training? Was it from Becca the year you were in? Did you get training from her? Yeah. I didn't get really any training to become a course rep. It was just kind of, here's a job, do your best. You got like a little handbook. It's like, oh, all right. You read it through a little bit, didn't quite understand it. I think those 7 or 8 people that you were saying never showed up obviously signed up for a reason. But if they don't, I don't think if you provide adequate training and you don't provide adequate kind of context, like you and I never got. I think it's just a matter of you need to provide the correct training, you need to provide have a lot of contact with those people.
Just to say, if I actually turned up to it and I got an email for it, then the facility was provided. People just didn't actually engage with it. You see, if I turn up to it, it means that I'm engaging. If the other 7 don't want to turn up, so they still hold the event. There were 3 people in the room, but they've sort of made time slots for 20 people to turn up. So they put their name down and just didn't show up.
Maybe then that's just an issue. If they put their name down and they don't show up, then someone else, that job needs to be given to someone else who'll actually do it. And that's just an issue. If the lecturer then needs to open it up and say like... Yeah,
but my question was, how do we engage people to actually do it?
Well, to really take part in the process.
Well, Chris knows my views on that. Has Mike got any views? What do you think? I've got my ideas for it. What are your opinions?
Because the facilities have been offered. Okay. But how do we engage them?
See, one thing I was thinking about that whole thing, because I was thinking through this, and I was like, when I was a course rep, I didn't really get any guidance from it.
Perhaps.
Are you a 3rd year, I asked?
No.
What year are you in? 2nd year. I was kind of had this idea of like, if you had like a 3rd year, more superior, kind of supervised like course rep, like say for my course, for psychology, for example, if there was a 3rd year student who really took on that responsibility, and then from the 2 years below that, kind of took the responsibility for those, not responsibility, but kind of took it upon those people to say, hey, look, there's a meeting coming on, like, would you come along? It's kind of, if you put someone in charge of those people, if someone's in 3rd year on the psychology course, then they can keep in contact with people on the 2nd and 1st year course reps to keep them more engaged, because I don't think it's quite plausible I wouldn't be able to keep in contact with like 400 students of all course reps, but if you kind of limit it more and you get those people to keep in contact with them, that's how you'd engage them, because otherwise that 3rd year student would then go and find someone else that would want to do the job and would want to keep in contact with it. That's literally all I just want to say is I just want you guys to go and vote. If it's for me, if it's for Phil, if it's for Nicholas de Conde, I just want you guys to go and vote and have a say in what's going on at this university, okay? So just please, just do go and vote, even if it's not for me. So thank you very much.